There are various perspectives and angles from where we can assess the conduct. First, the performance of INEC. I think INEC did very, very, very well. Materials were sufficient. The agents were well behaved, and in all, it was such that, particularly from where I voted, which is Otunba Ward 1, polling unit 4, it was seamless. People were accredited and immediately they voted, and I think it was captured real time. So I I congratulate INEC for a job well done. The security agents also did very, very well. They were around, but they were not around to intimidate. Nobody could see them that they were around to provide security, to give confidence to people. So people were able to express themselves freely. And uh, I would talk about APC. The APC officials mobilized sufficiently. They did quite well. And if you look at the total voter turnout, you would see that it is consistent with the pattern in the past 2 or 3 elections. The turnout has always been below 400,000 total turnout. And it was like that too, despite all the um, talk about insecurity and high cost of travel and so on and so forth. By and large, I think enough people were enthusiastic and they turned out, and nobody was hindered from voting. Nobody that was qualified to vote was hindered from voting. That is, if you came with your card and your name is on the register, you could vote. Uh, the only thing is that INEC may need to update their records because um, it can never be perfect. But there are some situations where you have dead voters that are still being carried. So maybe if we can do a lot to expunge those ones, because it will continue to tamper with our figure, our estimate of voter turnout. Because somebody that is dead already cannot come and vote, so we should expunge those that have died from the voter register. They were available on time, and being a Saturday and coming from an Adventist community or a preponderantly Adventist community, um, the officials waited till the official closing time so that people who even went to church on Saturday came out and were still able to vote. So I think I commend INEC, and it was very peaceful. It was non-contentious. Where I voted, there were no struggles. Nobody was beaten up. People just did what they needed to do, and some left, some stayed behind. I also stayed behind till the votes were counted. Completely, you see, because I expect that people who lose out will not say that they were rejected. They will say they were rigged out. They will find all kinds of excuses. It is normal and it is human. It is to be expected. But the truth is that um, this current governor came on board with the largest possible margin that anybody had received since 2003, and he has even pushed the margin further, much, much further. And it's most likely because his message and his activities have resonated with the people. So even the opposition themselves, they were not fully, how do I say it? They did not show any major demonstration of presence. You get what I'm saying? If you look at it, it's like there was no contest. Even during the pre-election period, it was like there was no contest, and on the election day, it was like there was no contest. You understand? The most of the in my polling unit, most of the parties on the ballot had no party agent. NDC, ABGA, all those ones. There are just about three party agents: APC, PDP, and ADC. That's all. Actually, I don't know. I will not speak to that. I will not speak to that. The truth is that when you lose out, you try as much as possible to taint the process and to make it look rigged, unfair, and so on and so forth. But Ambassador Darebejide, for whom I have a lot of respect, is an illustrious son of this community, and he has represented Nigeria in very high places. But way back in 2007, 2000 and whatever, he also benefited from the process. And the process has improved significantly. And we all know the process has improved. So if he lost out, it's probably not because of vote buying. It's probably because his message did not really penetrate the grassroots. It's a good development, and as much as possible, we must not allow partisan politics to tear the bond of brotherhood that we have been having as Ekiti people. We must not allow electoral contest to factionalize us. The election has come, it has gone. It may take some time for the reality of this thing to sink into the people whose expectations have been dashed. But I think the governor has done the right thing by extending the olive branch. He has always extended the olive branch. That is why you have so many people who are not with him in 2022 and who are with him in the course of this election. Well, I know that the EFCC has an office in Ado-Ekiti now. I voted in Otun Ward 1, polling unit 1. If some people chased EFCC away, it's because the EFCC was ready to be chased. Believe me, they have enough power and men to resist and to counter people who want to prevent them from doing their job. Neither the EFCC nor the DSS can be intimidated. That is my own understanding of the setup. So if those stories happen, it is still consistent with those who want to taint the process of this election. The election has come and it has gone peacefully. No loss of life. You understand? No burning of houses, no arrests. In fact, on election day in Otun, people are able to move around. So all these stories that keep coming up, I think the purpose is just to taint the process. That the process was compromised and so on, and to explain the loss of some people and satisfy themselves that they have not really lost, that if this had not been there, if that one had not been there, they will have won. I cannot speak for EFCC, but I think they have been doing a lot of good work in the past, and I hope they will continue to do the good work to ensure that criminals don't hijack not just our voting system but our governing system as well. So I wish the FCC the very best as they endeavor to fulfill their mandate. He has done a lot, and I think he will do even far more this time around because he's the first governor that is now being allowed to rule this state 8 uninterrupted years. So he has enough time. But time is always never enough to do all that you want to do. So the best thing will be for him to imagine 8 years from now what he will want to achieve and break them into actionable and measurable chunks with timeline, so that he can say, okay, I wanted to do 500 kilometers of road, and I'll be able to do it at maybe 125 kilometers per year. So at the end of the year one, you will see if I've been able to do 125, or I've been able to do just 50, or I've been able to do 75 or whatever. So he will have to break down all that he wants to achieve into measurable and how do I say, into a manner in which he can measure his performance vis-a-vis the time he has in office, and he can see whether his pace is according to what is expected of somebody who wants to achieve those goals. Oh, my prediction is that APC will win in an overwhelming manner. The truth of it is that it may turn out that the PDP may actually be the major opposition, as you could see in this election here in Ekiti. The PDP appear to have been empty, and the big shots have left and so on, but they still have the structure. And the PDP also still has its own structure, whereas all these other parties they are talking about, they don't have any structure yet, and many of them don't know how to build structures. Rather than stay back and build structure and invest in structure building, they will be talking on social media, running up and down, going to UK, going to US to talk without connecting with the people at the lower level. Like I told you, for example, PDP has some level of presence in my polling unit. ADC, the other party that was there in my polling unit, you know how much they scored? 4 votes. So they are not present. NDC 0. And it's going to be like that till next year, January. I don't see people can organize real political parties amongst them. These people have always, usually, maybe with the exception to Atiku, these people have always been fed with ready-made. So somebody else construct the platform and so on, and then he says, "Oh yeah, come and stand on it." So I do not see that APC has a credible opposition, but that does not mean that the president will rest on his laurels. Many of us know what he's doing, why he's doing what he's doing, and where he's going. And we're already beginning to see the result. But for this Gulf War, for this war in Iran and so on, things will have been much easier now. But we are glad that we're alive, and it can only get better. No, it does not happen like that. It does not happen. You see, somebody said, God give us the gift of men. You know, when you pray and ask God to give you the gift of men, in terms of politics, we are talking of people like Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we are talking of people who are willing to invest their time, their energy, their goodwill to build so many people that can turn into a force, that can become a platform from which people will stand and be elected to elective offices. It will still happen. Somebody maybe after 2031, God sparing all our lives, somebody may now come up and say, enough of APC, let's do something else. And if that also coincides with a time where a leader in APC is fumbling, then people would, like the way PDP fumbled between 2011 and 2015. You see, if the leader is also fumbling, then an alternative force will come up. It is not the work of Tinubu or APC or any other person for that matter to say, okay, we don't want a one-party state, so let us go and create another and so on. You see, what we have now is a one-party dominant. It's a multi-party, one-party dominant situation. One party is clearly dominant. About 5 or 6 elections were held on Saturday, and PDP won one of those elections. APC swept the rest. So it's a clear case of dominance. You understand? And you can't stop that dominance for as long as people feel that is where they should be. For as long as people are attracted to that place, you can't stop it. But it gets to a point where a diffusion may also happen, and then people will begin to migrate elsewhere, particularly if those handling the party become, complacent. As long as they are not complacent, people would have to work very hard. And if you look at it very well, there are over 900,000 registered voters in Ekiti. Only 370,000 came out to vote. And Ekiti has a population in excess of 3 million people now. So that means that a serious party still has about 600,000 people to market. But if they don't market them, they will either be there or they'll be tempted to come to APC, because Ariwo APC no. I don't know about his political trajectories, let me tell you the truth. I'm not close to him really, and I don't know his thinking and so on. If you were to ask me about Otunba Bayo, I will talk about him. You understand, he has been consistent. He was my boss, and he's a leading figure among the progressives. I can talk about him. But Dr. Ayofayoshe, I don't really I can't see myself that I'm sufficiently knowledgeable about his choices and what motivates him to say this is what he will likely do or he will not do that.
People of the Fountain.